ground hum, buzzing, even my cat Bear meowing behind me at a below surround angle, if you know what I mean. And this guy, oh, I like to reach out. Oh, I like to reach out, but I don't think he wants to talk to me. I've seen most of the comments. He's probably communing on their ABS. But he's got some real hum, buzz, hiss, and he's got one piece of test equipment that he could use. Yeah, he's got one piece of that everyone has got the same piece of on their computer. And you don't just have to use it for testing speakers and all that blah blah blah. It's got an FFT, I think FFT, or is it FTT? No, I think it's FFT. I keep forgetting. It's an analyzer, so then you can set it to a noise. So you go from 0 dB down to -100. In fact, it goes down pretty damn low in the scale, and that's Room EQ Wizard. You can use that to test audio equipment by connecting it to each piece of audio equipment. It's difficult to get the blinking thing aligned because you got to, test the computer sound card, run the output from the headphone output into the microphone input. So you make a loop. And you could do a frequency sweep, and then you know what that sound card frequency sweep is, as well as the sine wave tone output in, say if you're doing infrasonic below 220 Hz. Anyway, you could use that as an analyzer, as a tool. There's another one which is Force be with you. You could use the sniffer, to see where, what the heck is that? What demonistic, I don't know, a friend of mine has told me that he thinks my cat Bear may be demonized. Look at that meow he just made. Yeah, you characters are being fed. Anyway, the only way to keep the bear out. The only way to keep the bear. Just close the door. Bear goes crazy. Need a piece of equipment to test, for signal noise, anything. Anything in this room. I mean, bloody OLED produces noise. This down here, obviously. The light, and that really does sound like a lightsaber. Can make musical sound out of that. My CP200 is pretty, as it goes, that's just turning that, you get feedback. Well, CP200 is pretty quiet compared to the CP750. But that's just the LCD. So everything is producing electromagnetic interference, or EMI. There's not much RF that I can hear, and even with my CB radio I've done a test, and Yeah, well, the aerial's outside, so obvious. And I wasn't getting any breakover on the system, where I'd thought there'd be somewhere in the chain there will be a weak link in the B chain. The B chain is that, and the speakers and the behind. Well, you can't see behind the screen. That's called the B chain. I suppose the A chain really is the player. Like film, there's a source, and that's be the A chain, and then it again passes into the B chain. So everything has got noise. This is called a sniffer. It's very affordable. It's try and focus on the. Well, it's a sniffer. They're on Amazon. Very cheap, and I've tested it outdoors on against street lights, and some street lights even had some bad grounding where they were humming. Some were pretty good where they had good grounding. So but typical ground hum, if in this guy's case, he'll be checking with REM, connect it up to the equipment. But how does he connect it? I mean, where does he start? Just probably start, say, somewhere near the amplifier. I mean, that's more or less the last link output to the speakers. The speakers aren't going to do any 50 or 60 hertz hum, only the amplifier. Or it could be anywhere else in a B chain that's just not grounded correctly. Or something's come loose, you've got a cat going around and he's had a fancy for a certain wire and pulled and then suddenly you notice this, but noise can be in all electronics. Capacitors all produce a noise, and manufacturers go to great lengths to put filtering and such to minimise all that. Otherwise, capacitors are the culprit. I don't know what other components could be that would produce a noise. Resistors aren't going to do that. Diodes, I don't think would do that. Integrated circuit chips, microprocessing chips. I don't know. They might have some sort of clocking noise, or there might be something in there that's creating, like on the SDDS. Where is it? Hang on, let's exit. Almost botched it up there, but bloody butter fingers I got. Can I hear my cats growling? What's that sound? Might be a lawnmower, very distant. Let's exit. Hang on. Okay, let's try this again. My fingers feel very slippy. And that's going like that sound because it's that's flashing. And if I stop that there, see? Anything piece of electronics is going to produce some strange, not that I can hear that over the system. It is there, believe me. But it is so low down in the so open RAM. Go to spectrum. Yeah, go to spectrum. Just raise that up a little bit. I don't know why it's always kinking at that angle. Sloping at that angle. Let's see. No, not that one. No smooth. Yeah, I'll try it at that angle because that it confuses me when it's going downhill. You know. Right, I can see a lot of noise there. Well, I don't know. I know that the Sony has got a noise. It's got a hiss. The CP200, CP500, CP45, CP55, 65. They all got various difference of, you know, each is not the same. They're all slightly individual. I'm sure Dolby Labs were aware of it and why they didn't make it better. I thought that was their goal, to make noise reduction and make their equipment, you know. Anyway, crikey. Yeah, I mean, testing. You don't have to go out and spend stupid amount of money on, say, like some stupid overrated Trinov, you know, because I'm sure if you crank it up and do all that whatever and run all the battery tests, you know, you're going to see anomalies with the harmonic frequencies and some sort of strange, you know, and most things that are digital are going to have problems with, like, how well does it do with a sine wave sweep? Because you usually get this little birdie chirping sound when it just gets probably somewhere above 10,000 K and it's going up, and it just in a couple of seconds, you know, a frequency sweep, depending on how fast you do it or how slow you want the frequency sweep to be, to get some results. And usually get this like audible sound, very high pitched, but it's not that high pitched because it's audible. It's like some reverse harmonic. It's like a reversed harmonic, instead of the harmonic frequencies being in front. So you play a fundamental frequency here and you see all the harmonics ahead of it. Usually, sometimes you can see something that's the reverse and it's going downward, and therefore it's audible. And that could be overloading it on the input signal. You got to bring it down. You got your amplifier. You need to, but then you start noticing hiss and all that. You know, the crown amplifier. I've got loads of amplifiers. The crown amplifiers, they're not by any means by perfect. I can undo the leads from them and then just turn the gain level up, and then I notice a mild bit of hiss. But how would I test it? I would test it through safely. I would test it on the through the THX sound system, so I can go into the computer, which is what this is doing at the moment. This is on processor mode, I believe. It's not on amplifier return, it's on processor mode. But there's some noise there that could be generated partly by the THX sound system itself. And that would only be down to, say, like the transformer that goes in the back of it. I've got one, oh yeah, which reminds me, I've got to buy a new transformer for my other THX, same one, because the transformers in them, which are multi 120, 240 volt to, I think it's 15 volt. So it's got to be that type of transformer. And also it's got to be just about the right size so I can fit it inside. It doesn't have to be exactly the same shape, or well, the actual one itself. I don't think the manufacturer is established anymore. I don't think it's existing anymore. But there are other ones out there who all do the same function now. They own the same function. So I need to replace one of those. Maybe I'll replace that one because that's probably what I'm seeing. Because the transformer is going to produce some random sort of noise. I'm not getting 50 hertz here, a very high peak. I'm seeing a 50 hertz here, around about there. But this one here, at around about 100, that's pretty high. And then 200. 300, 400, 400 and 500. You know, those ones there, they're pretty, anyway. But if I were to put a sine wave out, I'll just do some pink noise there, or let's just put that back to where it should be. Pretty sure this is on processor. Yeah, let's turn that off and turn that off. So my frequency response is a little bit more flatter, and typically that's, you know, what I'm getting for, you know, there. Otherwise the frequency response go down just a proportion a little bit lower if I were to test it out from headphone out into microphone input on the computer. And of course the roll off on the high frequency up here, because there's no point there really. Only dogs, cats and bats can bloody hear above 20,000 kilohertz. So human beings as we are, we're pretty damn stupid, and yet we make noisy equipment for such a limited frequency range, when animals, they got at least 4 or I don't know, maybe 8 times more octaves higher hearing than we do. Anyway, there's no point going into that. So that's just pink noise, or I'll just go down to sine wave. Obviously the pink noise is masking the noise that's there, but two ways I can turn the fader down. See the noise that's there. Alright, I'll just bring it up, the fader, slowly. Probably around about that level there. Around that level. Mind you, don't forget the overall settings are probably not 100%. I'm not going to go out and buy one of those AP audio precision things, but they cost stupid amount of money. And you know, it's just, when I look at the damn thing and think, oh well, the component or the input and the outputs and all that, those parts look common as mud. It's what type of components are inside. And it's like putting words into a sentence. It's like putting components into a sentence where they have to make their equipment pretty low in the noise floor, which I think is below 100, minus 100 dB. That's below. We can't even hear that far down. You know, we can strive and struggle, depending on what type of frequency that's playing. That is, what sine wave, and then you can just about audibly perceive it, so to speak, under conditions in a room where it's absolute zero quiet. Otherwise, if you've got external noise around, then that noise external noise will create maybe an audio masking effect, but you do this on closed headphones. So anyway, if I were to say, I wonder if the Denon makes any noise or hiss. It's hard to say. I mean, I could plug the headphones in and turn the, right up, and can I hear anything that's there? If I can't, then yeah, that's not too bad. I wouldn't then play any music or sine wave or pink noise, with the level it's at, because I'd rip the headphones off, and it'll probably cause me more worse tinnitus than I already have. Thanks to Censor Round in 1979, fucking Battlestar Galactica, fuck you Universal for causing me tinnitus. So another way I can turn the fader up. And turn this one up a bit. If I wanted to play a movie with such a quiet, subtle sounds, or in it, I think in the order I've got something like, I think I've got somewhere in the order of over 50 plus dB gain. I don't think most home theatres have got that amount of. I'm bragging, I know, but I wouldn't dare use it when there's loud passages passing by because it would totally damage the equipment. But on soft, quiet sounds, I could bring them up so bloody exaggerated, yeah. And then I've got to be quick on turning the fader back down when I know when the scene's coming up where it's going to go loud. Yeah, it's called riding the fader. So yeah, I've got somewhere in the order of plus 50, probably a little bit more actually, and that's above normal 0 dB level. And yeah, once you reach 0, that's it. You got nowhere else to go. Otherwise, it's going to create harmonics distortion. You wouldn't even be creating soft clipping. You'll be creating hard clipping, and clipping is bad with damaged equipment. So hang on, if I play the pink noise again, go into the REM and turn down the level there. Some sort of noise. So, oh no, it's my surround speakers. They're yeah. So I need to put another switch on that so I can mute it totally. I still got a little bit of noise, hiss or hum. I did have quite a bit of, it was quite loudish at first on the overhead surrounds because how they're connected up, and yeah, I managed to solve it with this Behringer, the hum eliminator, or was it the hum destroyer? All it is some coils inside, and I think they're 6 pins. I think 6 pins, and it's how the signal networks and goes for it. Have I tested it to see whether or not? And yeah, it is shocking. Look at that. And well, that's not really much more that bothers me. What bothers me is this. That there. That's the lead going up to the router, and the transformers down here. Really, I think I really should put that router in a different location. I don't think you know, it's hard to say whether, you know, some of that is cross-talking or the cables are picking it up. I could wrap a tin foil around it to make some sort of isolator. I have thought of that. I mean, this cable is not really the brilliant. I mean, look at it. Look at that. Look at it. It's not high quality. Crikey, that's like that's like Tandy speaker cable wire. And yeah, you know, it's, you know, there's so many things that could, you know, amplifiers. They all got their noise. I mean, look at it. I mean, bloody hell, even the Behringers. Bloody hell, and I've got to change the fan on that, which is here. I've got to fit that fan in carefully without blowing the bloody thing up. Did all the others, so I've got to change the fan on that. Everything, even the phone, even the phone. Let's go somewhere where it's not in the kitchen, because it's picking up the kitchen light noise. Somewhere like a bit isolated. Say, yeah. So this is a transmittable, so possible that, you know, maybe getting, say, with the phone system, picking up some sort of, you know, so you got to check through everything and then shut everything off that's electronic in the home, and going through everything one by one by one by one by until you're absolutely, totally, really blue in the face. Even the fridge does it, you know. Oh my god, look at all the junk food. And Magic's thinking about jumping in. The light, the fluorescent. Bloody hell. Never heard anything like it. The computer. It's very difficult, but... And all these tests, where they do these tests, are usually conducted in anechoic chambers, where everything's very quiet there. They'll be checking things for EMI, RF, etc., as well as the equipment, you know, the fan noises and all that. Well, I think Behringer need to do something about their bloody amplifiers. They really need to put better fans in, and rather just going cutting corners and sticking in cheap Chinese bloody fans that make a lot of noise. I know those fans are Chinese over there, but they're a heck of a lot better than the other ones. They don't sound like a whirlwind blowing, and they put out the same amount of air or such, and yet you got to look at the fan itself. Take a close look, and because the blades, usually the blades are different shapes and angles, and how many blades there is, and, you know, to produce the wind flow. No, you're not going in there, Mr. Bear. Yeah, maybe I should test Bear to see if he's got any demons. Yeah, he's got demons. So it's everything, you know, even the light here. I bet even that smoke detector. Yeah, there is so much of it around. In fact, there's more of it in your home. There's more noise in your home, in our homes, than you probably would encounter walking down the road with one of these, and then you notice how less noise, how much the noise is so less. It staggers me. So, yeah, I've got a few other things to fix. For a moment I thought I was hearing loud hiss from the speakers, but that's pink noise still playing, and it sounds like hiss, depending on what level it is, and then you think it's hiss. Yeah, that's better. Oh yeah, so yeah, noise, hiss. There it is.